Welcome back to the group chat for this odds-on edition, and it's not coming on a Thursday, it's coming on a Friday today, so even more up-to-date previews, and once again, I'm joined by Goran. Thank you for joining on this Friday morning. How you doing?
All good, mate. It's almost like a battle of the curtains. You've got kind of like a darker shade. I've got this lovely, I wouldn't even know what you call that. It's like cream.
Yeah, it's coming off as cream.
Yeah, but it almost blends in with my shirt. But yeah, man, lovely to be here. And yeah, it's a busy weekend. Huge amount of sport on, and hopefully some money to be made, eh?
Yeah, well, it's a massive weekend, and I'm actually up in Auckland for this weekend because it is Champions Day at Ellerslie. It's going to be the biggest race day in New Zealand history. I think there's $9 million in prize money to be won. The first ever running of the NZB Kiwi, which is a slot race, $3.5 million. I think it's the richest race on turf in the Southern Hemisphere, so that's going to be massive. And there's four or five other Group 1s across the 10 race card, so it's all go. And we were up here yesterday, a bit of a golf day out at Muriwai. That was a lot of fun. Shot 3 under as a team, which was nice.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Nowhere near the prizes, though. And out at full-time bar for the trophy unveiling and a bit of a almost presser with some jockeys and trainers, and it was a bit of fun. So I got one of these hats, the Kiwi, and a little badge, so that's why I'm rocking this today.
Very good, very good. No doubt throughout the course of the weekend, you'll be pesting people, asking them probing questions, and we'll see the results on the Betcha socials, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Me and Mitch James will be heading out to Ellerslie on Saturday, and we're going to, the hook I've been coming up with is, since it's Champions Day, we're going to go get people to name many New Zealand champions they can, go up against them. So say, I tell you, I'm going to name 5 NZ champions. You might one up me and say, I can name 10. And I might go, well, I can name 20.
Right.
And then you'll kind of champion it out, if you will.
Yeah, well, don't put me on the spot, mate. I can't name too many.
I won't do that to you, Goran.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, plenty, mate. Obviously, the continuation of the first round of the NRL. Massive win for the Broncos over the Roosters last night as well. And
yep.
I think that sort of signals the kind of season the Roosters might have. A week or so back, on our League of Our Own podcast, myself and Adam Blair, we were talking about who's going to be the champ and who's going to be the chump of this NRL season. And he went out on a limb and said the Roosters are going to get the wooden spoon because there's so much change to their squad from last season to this, and they still don't have Brandon Smith available. He's injured. There's no Sam Walker in the halves. And, I think that was a really good indicator of the kind of season they've got ahead of them. And the Broncos under Malcolm Maguire, they're probably more well-drilled now than they have been in the last few years, which is scary given all of their talent. So, barred up for the NRL season, obviously. I'm looking forward to a little bit of English Premier League action as well. There's a couple of big games, one that involves your Arsenal against Manchester United on Monday morning, is it? So nice and early for you.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a battering of Southampton as Liverpool extends their lead at the top of the table. And obviously, a lot of Kiwi eyes will be on Chris Wood. Nottingham Forest host Manchester City. And, I don't want to say that Forest are fading, but they haven't picked up many results in the last few weeks. They need to have a statement performance at home against City to make sure that they don't fall out of that top 4. So, there's plenty going on, man.
Plenty on, and you don't want to say they're fading, but they're kind of fading, unfortunately. And to my surprise, I mean, I could have seen it coming earlier in the season, but they stuck at it. So, potentially the wheels haven't all fallen off yet. And a huge win against Man City this weekend. They're $3.70 underdogs at home. So it'd be huge if Chris Wood can net a couple and get them back on the winning road.
But what about on the subject of underdogs at home? I reckon, not that they're dead, but David Beckham, Paul Scholes and the like, they'd be turning in their grave to see that Manchester United at Old Trafford are well and truly outsiders against the arse, man. Like, what did I last see? $4.75
Yep.
to get on the Red Devils at home. What the hell?
It's crazy. $3.50 for the draw. I think it must be due to what a performance Arsenal put in the Champions League midweek. I mean, plenty of questions about the squad.
The floor is yours, mate. The floor is yours. Take it. Go for goal, because that's ridiculous. 7-1.
7-1 against PSV. I mean, that's huge. There's lots of, I guess, concerns going into the game about the squad, whether we can actually do it. You know, the Premier League's kind of gone. I guess it's gone. So Champions League it is, and go out and put a performance like that with we don't have a striker and we score 7 goals. Riddle me that. But,
outrageous.
Maybe that is why the bookies have reacted and got us at $1.75 favourites away from home at Old Trafford.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking Champions League, Liverpool got battered and still got a result against PSG. So that's the kind of form that they're in. They will find a way to get the result no matter what's happening out on that pitch. So, yeah. Great results for us, mate. Yeah. What a way to get into the weekend on the back of an Arsenal hiding, and Liverpool is kind of like the great escape.
Yeah, well, you said any team you put in front of Liverpool and they'll work out a way to get a result, and that's the kind of season they're having at the moment. So, well done there.
Yeah, thank you. And what about the Champions Trophy, mate? And we spoke about this on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. The fact that South Africa just bottle it at this stage, and well, I mean, did they bottle it, or was it just a supreme performance from Rachin Ravindra, Kane Williamson, a couple of cameos from Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips, and all of a sudden they're posting in excess of 350. Like South Africa at that stage, they're no chance. Even though David Miller scored a ton, it was all in vain. Santa Claus comes good as well. You know, when you're defending 362, was it? You're probably going to get a little bit of tap when you step up the bowl. And for the Santa Claus to produce figures of, what was it, 3 for 42?
3 for 20 something?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 3 for 40 something from his 10. Mm-hmm. Yeah, top quality from Mitch Santner. So, look, they've got their tail up, but India,
tough to beat. Over in Dubai as well, the final.
Yeah, what are you thinking there?
Well, I'm not going to touch it. Actually, maybe I will bet on India, because I did have a little dabble on South Africa, because it's a win-win, right? If the Black Caps win, we win. If South Africa win, I get some money. So I might go that route again. I did have Rachin to be top run scorer in the match against India,
right?
Which he got 18, or it might have been 0 off 18. I don't know, but he had that ton against Bangladesh beforehand. No score against India, and then a ton against South Africa in the semi, when I didn't bet on him again. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave that alone. Hopefully there's still some runs left in it for Rachin. Unreal knock from him, laid the platform, allowed Kane to kind of do his thing as well. And then, like you said, Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips come in at the end. And they said they were talking about 300 was their mark, and the way they kind of accelerated to get up to 360 was unreal. So if we can replicate that, I think we're in, if we can bat first and put up a good total. But it's just so hard on a flat deck against all India's superstars that they've got. I mean, you've got to take 7, 8 world-class wickets before you get into your Bumrahs or your Sriraj down at the end.
Yeah.
And on a flat deck, it's just...
what you're telling me, it's kind of like the Black Caps victory is just making the final, isn't it? Yeah, and anything else on top of that is a bonus. So
yeah.
Hopefully we get into bonus territory. But yeah, all things said, getting to a final, pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a win in the Black Caps books. So they would have said, our goal is the final. If we get there, then let's ride the wave.
Yeah, I just hope that they don't go into their shell, because you know what year was it?
Was it 2015 World Cup against Australia?
Yeah, and BMAC got bowled after 3 deliveries, and then they just consolidated from there. And I don't want that to happen. Like, go out there and give a true account of yourselves, and throw caution to the wind. Don't consolidate. Just go for it. That's the way you're going to topple India.
That's the game they're playing under the Santa Claus. So I back them to come out there and play the way they want to play, and hopefully give India a real go at it.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right. So because it is our odds-on edition. We've got our betting to do. I'll just give you a quick recap of last week, Goran. So we're doing me versus Phil. I've got a Super Rugby multi, 2 legs, and he's doing his NRL one. So we've got the 50-22 versus the 40-20. And Phil, he's worked up a healthy lead after I've struck out twice in a row here. Riccatelli scored as my first leg, and then the Force Reds, I actually tipped the Force to keep it within. I get back to them on the point start. And then I decided in this multi to go the points, and it didn't clear the points. I should have just backed what the gut said, and I missed out there. But thankfully, Phil, he also missed out. So he's at $521 for the season. I'm at 156, so I've got a bit of catch up to do.
Yeah, geez. Oh, good luck to you, mate.
So, by the way, you might be helping me out this week, or you might be throwing me under the bus.
Yeah. Well, do you want to reveal yours first, or should I show you mine?
Let's hear yours. I want to hear yours first.
Okay. So my 2-leg NRL multi looks a little bit like this. Mm-hmm. I'm focusing on the Dolphins and the Rabbitohs, which is a fascinating game because you've got Wayne Bennett, who used to be the Dolphins head coach, and he's gone back to the Rabbitohs. The Dolphins have so much strike. It's an away game for the Redcliffe side, and they struggle away from Queensland. But I think maybe, just maybe, there'll be a few tries for the Dolphins, and it doesn't matter if they win, lose, or draw. I feel like there's enough strike power out wide that they'll score a few. So I'm going to back Herbie Farnworth at $2.90 and Jermaine Asako, I think he's at $2.20. It's a multi of $6.80 if both of those guys score an anytime try. So, yeah, Farnworth, Asako to score tries against the Rabbits, and that's paying $6.80.
Well, I'm going to have to place that for Phil. $6.80, and that's going to return $340 for him. So if you do manage to get it up and you're doing a good deed for Phil, I will be chasing my tail around. I'm quite far behind. So anyway, that sounds
Sorry, man, should I have stitched him up and gone for the eels?
I rate it. I'm going for. I've actually, because of the position I'm in, I'm going a little bit on the safer side here. I've just backed 2 $1.80, $1.90 bets here for this weekend. Moana Pacifica up against my Hurricanes. I'm backing them at plus 12.5. They're at home. It's Artie Savier's. I don't want to say return to Wellington because they're not playing in Wellington, but it's the first time he'll be facing the black and yellow of the Canes as the opposition, and I think he'll get his troops up for it. They need a win. They're 0-3 at the moment, so I'm backing them against the points, 12.5, and then rolling that into the Crusaders-Reds game. Another bit of a revenge game. James O'Connor up against his former side, the Reds. I think they're pretty evenly matched teams, and we've seen lots of high-scoring games this Super Rugby. So I think the points total is pretty inflated at the moment. So I'm getting on it while it's still high and going to say a tight game is going to go under the 60.5 points. So my multi of those 2 legs, Moana Pacifica plus 12.5, under 60.5 total points in the Crusaders Reds game gives me $3.30. So 163 to my total.
All right. Well, good luck there. That'd be a strange experience for Artie Savia, wouldn't it? After playing for the Hurricanes as long as he has, and then going back as a visitor and not going to the home dressing shed. You hear all kinds of stories of players who go back home, so to speak, and they turn the wrong way in the dressing room. I hope that doesn't happen to him.
Yeah, take a left and see it going right. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what are you doing here? You don't belong to us anymore. Oh, shit.
Oh, hey, Skip. Oh, wait, no, you're not Skip. Yeah. See ya.
Get out of here. Yeah, it'd be such
I reckon if they kicked him out, they'd fire him up even more.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get up for this one. He feels like that kind of guy that really, if there's a chance to win and he's circled one game on his calendar, I think this will be it for Artie.
Yeah.
James O'Connor, I don't think will have the same effect. I believe he's running off the bench, but it's still a story. So we're going to run off the stories.
Nice one, mate. Nice one. Well, good luck
Okay.
trying to catch up, eh?
Yeah, well, I'm laying bricks here and you're shooting for the moon for Phil, so I'll do my best and we'll
Yeah.
move on to our locks versus our laughs. Weirdly enough, I told you on Tuesday, none of my locks have come in. It's almost doing the opposite. But this week, I feel really good. I felt like I wasn't going to do any UFC, but it's Alex Pereira, and he's paying $1.87 to win. This guy is a killer, and just at $1.87, I'm just taking him to win straight up by
Right.
knockout, submission, anything on the cards. I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Well, my lock is a little bit more convoluted and complex. So in
Hit me.
the EPL, you've got Liverpool against Southampton, and Southampton are terrible this EPL season.
Mm.
It's as good as done, right? Like Liverpool could put out their juniors, and then they'd give Southampton a pretty decent towel up. So I'm going with. Am I even allowed to do a multi in this one?
Yeah,
Can I?
go for it.
Okay. So my multi is that Liverpool gets the win. Of course
Yep.
they will. And that the mighty, magnificent Mo Salah not only scores a goal, but he assists in a goal. So Liverpool to win, Mo scores, Mo assists, and that only pays 277. There's a lot that needs to go right, but I mean, the way he's been playing and the way Liverpool's been playing, I feel like there's a level of confidence there. So that's my lock.
Wow, that is absurd odds for a win, a goal scorer, and an anytime assist.
Well, it's just they're so dominant, mate. You know, like yeah, Mo's been scoring, he's been assisting. Like the stats that he's producing have been remarkable for a guy of his age. No, he's not like a geriatric, but he should be slowing down, right? He's doing the Chris Wood thing. You know, he's getting better with age. So yeah,
aging like fine wine, old Mo Salah, and you're still not
Drink
signing him back.
What? Yeah, they'll sort that out, won't they?
Well, you'd hope so. I mean, he's putting up record numbers here.
Yeah, stupid move.
You don't want to borrow him.
Off you go. See you, mate. Yeah, thanks for all you've done.
Yeah, thanks for your service. Thanks for winning us the league and breaking all these records. See ya.
Yeah, look forward to you scoring and assisting against us next season.
Oh, yeah. It's actually a joke at this stage. I mean, I thought they would have sorted it out by now. The longer it carries on, it's just, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a lot that needs to happen for me to claim my $2.77. But against Southampton, I feel as though it could work.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton at this stage, if you chuck them in the championship, I just still don't think they'd fare any better. So that's kind of showing where they're at the moment.
Yeah. They're miles away from getting out of the relegation zone. So yeah.
Yeah, what are they on track to have the worst point scoring season in the Premier League?
Yeah, abysmal, mate. Abysmal.
Tough scenes out there.
It's almost like for a certain number of teams, there needs to be a league within the leagues, you know? So like, because they just sort of bounce up and down, up and down, up and down, you know? Almost too good for the championship, but nowhere near good enough for the Premier League. Yeah, maybe a competition of like maybe 8 or 10 teams.
Yeah.
Premier League light.
Yeah, Premier League. Yeah, what could you call it? So we've got the Championship, Premier League. Yeah, I could go Premier League light. Not bad. Not bad. All right, I'll go to my laugh. I was going to go on the golf, Arnold Palmer Invitational, because there's always some juicy odds on the golf, but we're actually underway. So I'm going back to the UFC, and it's going to be...
Back to the fighting, okay.
It's going to be with Alex Pereira, and I've got him to win it by knockout in round 3. So I'm doubling down on Alex here.
Yeah, going all in almost.
The knockout, I'm all in on Alex. The knockout round 3 pays $11, so that's my laugh for the weekend. Wow. And if that comes in, I'll cash both of them. So that's the thought process.
I like it. I like it. And if you're confident, well, who knows? Maybe it'll come off. My laugh, and this is sort of like a response to what myself and Blairy did the other day. So every week we do a betcha this happens in round whatever in the NRL, and the last game of round 1 is Melbourne Storm against the Eels, and the Parramatta don't have Mitch Moses, and so they're pretty much stuffed, right? So last game, I went with Melbourne Storm to win, and he just gave me huge amount of grief because, I'm an Eels fan from way back. So my laugh is actually just getting on the Eels head to head against the Storm, and they're paying $7.
Are they paying $7?
$7, yeah, in a
What?
2-horse race, man. $7. So look, anything's possible.
Whoa!
I know, yeah, and this team will try and get up for a new coach, and they've got some new players. Zach Lomax is in the squad, and he had such a good season for the Dragons last year. He became a representative player, and so you get him in the mix. There's a really exciting fullback, Isaiah Iongi at the back. So look, we'll see what happens, but what's the harm in chucking a sly $5 on the Eels at $7?
That's crazy. You're right. 2-horse race, $7. The Melbourne Storm paying $1.10. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the Melbourne Storm they will go some distance to winning this competition, because there's very little change from what happened last year, and they made the grand final. And you see the Panthers, strong start against the Sharks, but again, they've lost a number of players in the off-season. So, Melbourne Storm have maintained their roster. I just expect them to go one better. They'll make the grand final and win it. So, and if they can keep all of their spine players on the field at the same time, which they didn't do a lot last year, they'll be a huge threat. Just not this week against your Eels. Oh, I mean, what would I want to come in more? The head-to-head or the multi that I put on with Blairy? Probably get more for the multi. Did you back the Storm in your multi? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, what is the point? Mate, I'm not stupid. I'm an Eels fan, but I'm not stupid. Yeah. 18.5 the point start. Wow. That's big. Well, I mean, you see what the Broncos did last night to the Roosters, so not surprised. I've actually got a bone to pick about Mitch Moses because we had our NRL fantasy draft last Tuesday ahead of round 1 in Vegas, and I went heavy on the forwards to start with. And then obviously the halves, there's not a lot of depth in there. So I went Mitch Moses. He's injured. But he wasn't listed as injured when I picked him. He had a good preseason. And then I went to check it last night before the game started, the Roosters-Broncos game. And I saw he was out injured. And then I just had to do a deep dive and it's his foot? Yeah. And he's going to be in a moon boot for 6 weeks. That's right. Yeah, we won't see him till like round 6. Oh, God. Sorry, mate. And that's not my fault, You can't have a bone to pick with me. Like I'm not his agent. I'm not his strength and conditioning guy. But he had a good preseason. Yeah. And it was going to be the key to me winning my fantasy league. Well, it was going to be the key to me winning the NRL Premiership, but that's stuffed. Why don't you pick Ronald Volkman? He's the guy deputising for him. I need to drop someone, but I've got 3 players on my bench that are already locked in, and I don't really want to drop Kiraz as well because he's a dual position. So I might just have to run with one half this week, unfortunately. Well, what's Ben Hunt up to? Because there's a guy that probably wasn't expecting a lot of game time, but because Ezra Mam's been a bad boy, he's in the halves with Reynolds for the Broncos. Yep. So, very true. Yeah. Might need to look into that for next week. Yep. Just tossing up a few options for you, mate. Yeah, okay. I like it. My ladder challenge lost last week because I backed the Warriors, much like lots of New Zealand. Everybody did. So I thought the Raiders were going to be absolute pus, and then they just smashed them. The lights were too bright, I think Dylan Walker said. Turn them down. Well, we all want to go to Vegas, but then you get to Vegas and you get scared, do you? Yeah. Freak out. I guess that's the way. I think even Cleary had said that the whole week leading up to it felt like a grand final week. So it's a massive thing. I mean, but it's going to be distractions. You're going to still have to play, and the Warriors just didn't turn up, which meant my $10 that I'd worked to 38 down the drain. Bye-bye. So it would be Phil's turn, but because we've got you, Goran, we're going a celebrity. We're calling it a celebrity play on the ladder challenge to get us kicked off again Yeah.
What are we going for?
We're going to the A-League. We're going to something reliable. This should help us out. Auckland FC paying $1.80 to beat the Newcastle Jets.
Nice.
That's the one, man. That's going to help us. That's going to get us climbing that ladder.
I like it, and I like it even more because I've backed Auckland FC in the ladder beforehand, and they got the job done. So
yeah, okay. So they've got prior history, and
they do.
Auckland FC will be pissed off about the manner of their 4-4 draw with Adelaide as well, especially given that officials have come out and said that the first penalty shouldn't have been awarded.
Yeah,
and I think most football fans and aficionados would have gone, well, that's not a pen. So how they conspired on game day to award it, we'll never really know. There's a bit of retribution to be had, and unfortunately Newcastle Jets are going to cop it.
Yeah. And it's away from home for Auckland as well, So bit of travel involved, but
and there are some characters for the Black Knights who have really found form in front of goal, and I just see that continuing. Logan Rogerson scoring, Guillermo Maia scoring some absolute bangers from long range. Nato Moreno, who had the hat trick from the NZ Derby stolen from him. He pretty much every game he plays, he scores. So, there are goals in Auckland, and I think Newcastle's in trouble.
Beautiful. I like hearing that. We'll leave it there, Goran. You've got a wedding to dash to, so
not my own.
Thank you for coming
someone
on.
Else's.
Not heading to Vegas to get remarried?
No. Yeah, it's like bigamy. I'm just finding wives everywhere. No, that's not the case. Friends of my wife and I are getting married up in Lee. So, the mad dash up north, and then, hopefully a relaxing weekend after that, mate, watching all these bets roll in.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be good to see the balance tick on up after a wedding? You enjoy your weekend, Goran. If you are having a punt, have some fun, do it responsibly. Our bets will be on our profile, so feel free to follow along and enjoy the weekend. Thanks for listening.